Hello, today we're going to still do much larger grids. So this is a small one and we're going to make it larger. So that would make our picture a lot larger. I have already put a little dashed line so it would help you understand to divide things in half. What I've already started doing is on this one, dividing things in half so you can see placement. So I'm using colored ink just so you can see the position of where the lines would be. So if I would divide these in half, this would help me see the placement of the head. And I've already started sketching this in with a ink pen, but please use pencil when you're doing this. But by dividing things in half, you can see that by doing a half line here and then there, so a horizontal and a vertical lines that I'm dividing, that's giving me the intersection point of, okay, that's where the curve of his head is also changing directions. I could then do them a halfway down here on this one, and this is column 4. This would help me see how wide the body needs. So the body of the minion is not out here, it's actually following the line down through this part. So by dividing things in half, that's helping me see. Also, what I like doing is just using a post-it note to help block sections out. So by dividing things in half, that's also helping me see and not seeing too many lines. So I could do this too and block this section out. So all I'm seeing is this where I need to work. When dividing things in half, you could also put your paper this way and work this direction. Please draw in pencil, but you could divide things with ink pen. And that will help you especially see how you could see where the mouth would be. So I already divided it with this line, but it's helping me see where the curve of the smile would be. I could even divide things, because this is divided in half, I could divide it in fourth again, and that would tell me where the end of his little smile is going to go. So it's between the 2 and 3 right on that line, and I'm going to have it a little bit below that 4th line that I made. And it's going to come up, and it looks like over to this section just a little bit. And notice how I'm doing light lines that are sketchy, just so I have placement and it makes it easier when using a pencil to erase. And then once I know it's in the correct spot, I would go back over it with a firmer line. And then just continue working on this one. The next page that we have here is once again a small grid and a larger grid. I've already put some division lines again on here. So where it's divided in half here for this vertical one in column 4, that would help me tell that the body is not in this position, it's over on this side of the line. I could also divide this, because maybe I'm not for sure where the top of his head would be. Some people would maybe draw it up here, and that would not be correct. By dividing it in half again, that would help us know, oh, the head's gonna be touching all the way down here and not up here. So remember, grids are to help us find the correct placement of things. Notice on the given grid line, his goggles are touching, it looks about right here, but if I'm not for sure, I would divide it in half. And by doing that, I now also helped myself see where the placement of his eye would be. So I can tell the goggles are here, and then the eye is underneath here somewhere. But if I would divide it again, that would help me see that the eye is in this position right here. So by dividing things into halves and fourths, that's going to help you. Remember, you could be covering things up with a post-it note to help you see, and then I would cover it up with just a piece of paper. So maybe you're just wanting to work in these sections here, and I could take a post-it note like this, because we're working on the eyes right now. I could take it and just fold it so all I would be seeing is this part and this part right here. And that's all I could be working in. That way it's covering up what you're seeing and not letting you see too many lines and get confused. The next one you are going to have to draw the grid lines on this one. So to do that, grab a ruler, and I'm just using an ink pen so you can see. For this, you could also, just so you can see the grid lines. So you have lines started for you. Line your ruler up, and a trick is hold your ruler with your finger spread out further, so when you're drawing a line, it's not gonna go this way. So by doing this and spreading them out, and then use like your thumb to help balance it and put just a little bit of pressure on it, it will help so you're not having your ruler move when you're tracing it. So continue drawing all the grid lines on this. I started doing the vertical ones also for you. So this part's not too hard. Then what you're going to do after you have these completed, and you would finish the grid, you're going to go over, and you could tear this out and start drawing it on the grid that's given to you. One thing I did to see if you were paying attention though is this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 has nothing in it, and there's actually not an 8. I just wrote it here so you could see. But in the one that you're drawing, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you need to pay attention that you're not drawing in column 8. So you could be Xing it out here so you know not to draw on that one. I would also make sure on your grids that it's the correct height, because it could have one added to the top and you would make him maybe a little bit too tall. So pay attention to where the numbers are on your pictures. So when doing this, you also still can divide things in half. Like what I started here, I was dividing that in half. And by doing that, you can see how it has helped you see the position of the minion's head so it's not too tall. Also, you can see how it has small sections that are, either showing or not showing. So look at those little parts, and that would help you get the correct shape. I would also divide this in half, so that would see and tell me, you can see now where his little goggles are going to be starting is about right here. And then they're going to go up and over. But what I could also do is do a line going across, and that will tell me not to draw them down too low. So it would be around this area that I'm then going to curve and then continue drawing up. One I would pay attention to is his hand here. If you divide it in half also, that's going to help you see where the fingers need to be positioned. And by having this one that I did earlier, that's telling you in 2-2 I need to do this, and that's going to tell me how his little finger should be drawn, is at this position, and it comes up and back around, and then a little bit, if you wanted to, divide this in fourth, and then it would go up and around, and I could divide this one also, so that would tell me you could even do it in fourth again, and that would help me see the position of the little guy's hand here. And I never finished this line. Thank you for watching.